Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to recreate the Coca Cola logo animation that is used on their advertising. This will work for the proper logo, but will also work for your own logos or custom text. So, first we're going to create our composition, and I'm just calling this Coca Cola. Then I've found this PNG image of the Coke logo, and I'm using one of my favourite buttons, the align button, to get it right in the middle. And then I've just scaled it down. Next we're going to start adding our effects. So the first effect I'm going to add is the CC cylinder effect. And you can see what this does. It basically wraps up your logo or your text around a cylindrical shape. You can then start to rotate it on any 3D axis, so the X or Z, but the Y axis is the one we're going to be focusing on to get this effect. So if we rotate the Y axis, you'll see that the logo is wrapped up quite tightly, and this isn't what we want. So I'm going to add the grow bounds effect, and this effectively does what it says on the tin, and it makes the size of the border of your image extend out further. You'll see if I increase this value, then nothing happens, and that's because we have to put it above the cylinder effect, so that our cylinder effect is applied after the grow bounds effect. We can then play with this grow bounds effect to change how curled up the logo is. So a larger boundary will make the logo seem a bit flatter, and you can play around with this to get the look you like. Now if I go along to around 3 seconds on the timeline, I'm going to put a keyframe on the Y rotation, and this is going to be our finishing position. So I'm keyframing the Y to be 0 degrees here. Then I'm going to go back to 0 seconds on the timeline and keyframe the Y rotation back a bit until our logo is fully off the edge of the cylinder. But you'll notice that we can see the back of our logo when it's spun around like this, and we don't really want that. So under renderer, we're going to select outside only. Okay, if we play that, you can see we're heading in the right direction, but it feels a bit clunky still. To get a nice smooth motion, we're going to select our second keyframe, and we're going to add some nice ease into it. You can do this by pressing F9 on your keyboard, and that'll ease the keyframe. But if we go into the graph editor, we can push this a bit further. So by pulling this handle all the way to the left, it adds some really nice ease into it. And I'm ensuring the handle snapped to 0 by holding down the command button. And this ensures it eases perfectly to a stop. Now this is looking pretty good, but it's not quite 100% there yet, I feel. On the original, if you look at an example, you can see that the logo is actually a little bit more curved on this around the edges, rather than being fully straight. To make this look a little bit better, I'm going to add the spherize effect, and I'm going to increase this quite high, and this is just going to make it seem that little bit rounder, and it looks a bit more now like one of those glass bottles of Coke. I've changed the centre point so it's slightly further down than the centre of the logo, as I think this is most accurate. And that's basically all there is to it. I've then just added a fill effect and made it white, and also added a nice background to this as well. Finally, I wanted some motion blur, but normal way of adding motion blur doesn't actually work with this cylinder effect. So I've added the force motion blur effect. If you're going to do this right at the end, because it will completely slow down After Effects. And it'll also take a fair while to render as well, so just bear that in mind. And here's the final result. Again, all this will work with your own logo or custom text. And to you guys watching at Pepsi, it'll even work with your logo. So just have some fun with it. And yeah, I hope you found this useful or interesting. As I said before, I intend to do more of these videos breaking down famous animations, so subscribe for that. And let me know below if you have any ideas for anything else you want to see. You can also follow my Instagram. Thank you, and see you in the next one.